Hello, everyone. It's just gone 1 o'clock here on the east coast of Australia, and I know that we're going to have people from everywhere today because that means it's earlier than our normal time. And normally I go live on a Friday night and a Sunday night at 7:30 my time, so a good number of hours on from this time. But usually our Tuesday afternoons are at 2 o'clock, and today I've brought it forward a little earlier because I have to take my son out this afternoon to do a little bit of Christmas shopping and a few other things that we've got to run some errands. So I made it earlier just to give myself a bit of extra time. Hello. Oh, Janine, 2 dozen cinnamon rolls. I wish you could send me some as well. Mind you, I'm trying to be good right now, so maybe it's just as well. Hey, Donna. Hey, Margaret. How are you? Hi, Susan, all the way from Minnesota, one of my favorite places. Who else have we got here? Suzanne. We have Marsha. Hi, from Texas. And we have Donna. Donna is telling you, Janine, that it smells lovely. Sometimes just talking about something, you can almost smell it, right? And for anyone who's wondering, Jay Reinker is actually Janine. I hope it's okay to say that. How are you, Margaret? How are you doing? Hey, Deb. All right, now there's a couple of housekeeping things before we start today. First of all, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that, because that's how I get the word out to more and more people, by getting a bigger number of subscribers, so that when I go live, people know that I'm here, and we get the word out to more and more people about how being creative is a wonderful thing. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, a little bit of housekeeping today. Some of you may have already seen this, but Stampin' Up made an announcement this morning, and that announcement is that we have 1 day of free shipping on Thursday the 14th. Is Thursday? It's Thursday. Let me double check. I really should have probably checked this before. I'm looking at my calendar. Yes, Thursday is the 14th. That is correct. So this Thursday, and that's from midnight to midnight. Okay, so if you order anywhere in that time, that window, whether you go through a demonstrator or whether you do online shopping or however you like to order your products, it will be free shipping on all orders over $65. Now, I'm giving you the numbers for Australia. I'm not sure what it is elsewhere. So if you're not in Australia, it'll be a different number, and you'll need to reach out to your demonstrator to find out what that is. However, here in Australia, it's ordered 65 or more, there'll be free shipping. So that's kind of cool. Very, very cool. Yes, you know what? It's finals week here too. Our Janine, our school year runs from the end of January usually to mid-December. And yes, most schools are finishing up this week. My son has done a diploma course this year, and his ends this week. Friday is his last day, and then he has a diploma. Woohoo! Now we just got to get him a job, right? So all these things are happening, and I think it's a lot of people. A lot of people have things ending up at the moment, right? The 14th is Thursday. Oh no! Hey, the next day. Oh dear. You're glad you waited, Laurie? Well, yes. I think there's a few people that are going to be glad they waited. And I'm actually very excited that they've done a free shipping thing, because December can be a tricky month. You know, I find that if people don't order by mid-December, that they're probably, too busy, too much on their minds. They're doing their Christmas shopping, Christmas planning, all that kind of stuff. And the last thing they're thinking about, unless they're thinking about crafting between Christmas and the New Year, because that does happen, a lot of people don't think about crafting. So orders tend to slow down in December. So I'm very happy they're giving us a free shipping day, because that will probably help things a lot. So I'm very glad. So in the US, it's $75 and up. Okay. Shipping is different in the US to here. So, it makes sense that it's a different number. Hello, Lani. How are you? I'm feeling okay. Yeah, I'll be better after I go back. Well, I don't know if I'll be better initially, but I've got to go back to the dentist tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. Bit nervous, I've got to tell you. Hi there, Sherry from Indiana. Hello. Yes, Suzanne's saying she's glad she waited as well. So there's a few people, and you know what? I didn't. I've already ordered, but I'm sure I could find something else to order to get free shipping on Thursday. I'm sure I could find something. So this is Technique Tuesday. Technique Tuesdays is when I just pick a technique out of the millions, and well, it feels like millions. It's probably It's a lot. I don't know how many techniques, but I know that I'm still introducing my customers to new techniques. I do a technique class with my in-person customers every month or most months, and we're still finding new techniques to show people. It's just amazing, really, right? Okay, sometimes the techniques might be an actual technique that you do with your inks and stamps and all that sort of stuff, as today's is. Other times it might be other products. It might be embossing powders. We did some embossing last week, last week's Technique Tuesday. You can go back and check that out if you wanted to. Also, there's other things like styles of cards. Like a couple of months ago in a craft along, we did the faux shatter card, and that's kind of a technique too, showing you how to make those. So there are always cool techniques waiting to be learned, and that goes for me and all demonstrators as well as our customers. Everyone loves to learn something new, right? Okay. All right, I'm going to switch over to the desk phone, and you'll see what I'm playing on at the moment. Here we go. Yes, I have my glass mat. Very excited about my glass mat. I am going to be doing a standalone video to talk to you about the benefits of the glass mat and why it's a great thing to have. So if you are interested in that and want to find out more about the glass mat, I'm hoping to have that done before the end of this week. Not sure if it'll be Thursday or Friday. Probably not tomorrow, but we'll see. This will be your seconds, Laurie. Yes, I know, right? I get it. I'm in the same boat. All right, you love your glass mat, Roz. Did you get it already? Yes, Marsha, I do have a bird. His name is Cookie, and he's a big favorite of everybody here. So I once had a lady tell me on one of my videos that she thought the bird was too noisy, and you should have seen all the comments. People saying, no, he's not too noisy. We love Cookie. So Cookie has a fan club of his very own, I'm pretty sure. So yes, he is my cockatiel, and I've had him for 24 years. So since he was a little baby, he was about 5 weeks old when we got him, and yep. Pretty exciting. Yes, I got mine the other day too, and I'm very excited about that. See, Rose is saying she loves Cookie. And it's not the same without Cookie. Thanks, Donna. Oh, it's 2:10 in the morning. Goodness me, Subu. What are you doing up at this time of the night? Can you not sleep? Or were you just excited to watch my technique video? Well, I'm early today. I'm going an hour early. Instead of 2 o'clock, I'm going live at 1 o'clock. So, all right. So let's have a little play. Well, here's the thing. In Australia, demonstrators can no longer get the glass mat because they had it available until they reached the magic number of glass mats available, and then the rest are being saved for the joining special in January. So we have a joining special coming in January where you spend $169 on your kit, and you can get the Glass Mat Studio, which is the glass mat, the silicone mat, and the cleaning cloth, all included in your kit, completely free. The value of this in Australia is $106, but it will be included free with any kits that are purchased during celebration, and celebration starts on the 4th of January. So so they are longer lived. I know, parrots, and Cookie is doing very well. They say cockatiels live between 25 and 30 years. I shouldn't say it too loud in case he gets a complex, but yeah, they live between 25 and 30 years, and he's 24. So he's, I guess, what they consider elderly, but he still has plenty of spunk, let me tell you. So in Australia, you can't get this now, but I understand, I think in the US, they're getting close to the number that they have reserved for demonstrators. And then once that number is reached, they turn off the ordering. And then it can only be earned by purchasing a kit in January or February for celebration. You covered everything in that comment, Margaret. You love Cookie and you've got your glass mat. Two completely unrelated things. It is still orderable. Oh, it's not either in the US either. Interesting, Marsha. Okay, I knew it was getting close, but yeah, maybe they've reached the number there as well. We reached our number last Friday, so it's been a while. If they have any left at the end of celebration, at the end of the joining special, then they will make them available at some point, we don't know when, but they may make them available to demonstrators and customers again at that point. In the same way that last year, do you remember they did the blue mini cut and emboss machine? And so when they did that, same thing, it was available to demonstrators in December, then it was available on the joining special January, February, and then at a later date, a couple of months down the track after that, they made it available again, and it's still available now, I think, in the online store to customers and also to demonstrators. So there you go. All right, I'm going to start. We're going to do some acrylic block stamping. This was actually, believe it or not, the very first video I ever did way back, I don't know, 2010 or something ridiculous like that, was acrylic block stamping. And I'm going to show you 3 different ways to do some acrylic block stamping today. And so I'm going to grab a couple of pieces. I'm just using basic white cardstock. Now, we can do something different with this on watercolor paper, and that'll be a different technique for a different day. Okay, so we'll do that another time, but I'm doing 3 different ways to do acrylic block stamping, and there are, like I said, lots and lots of different ways. So I'm going to get out, this is B block, and there's also A block. So you can do this with different size blocks. I'm going to be using B today. This is A, this is C. Depending on what you're doing, this can be a great background technique, really good for scrapbook pages as well. And we can pick different colors. Let's first person to pick a color. Pick a color and let's use it. I don't mind what color we pick. Any of our Stampin' Up colors. First person, and I will use that. And we'll see what people want to see. What color would you like? We're just going to be on the white background, so it's just any color at all. Anyone? Everyone's gone quiet. First person is Janine. Blue. I love blue, Janine, but can you be more specific? Oh, Jane said boho blue. What do you think about that, Janine? Is that the kind of blue you were thinking? I'm after a specific Stampin' Up color. What color would you like? Jane said boho blue. So if Janine's happy with that, we'll go with that one. Does that sound okay? All right, so I'm going to grab balmy blue. Boho blue sounds good. All right, blue it is, and boho blue. This boho blue is kind of, to me, it's kind of like a, I call this kind of like a powder blue. It's soft. It's a soft color. And I really like boho blue. It's one of my favorites. And I'm actually going to use my B block here, and I'm going to dip my and I realized I've got a bit of white ink on that, so I'm actually going to avoid that. All right, not that it really matters. And I'm just going to start anywhere, and I'm going to stamp it straight down. Now, if you wanted to, you can see how we get like a dotty effect. See that? I quite like that. If you wanted to, you could do this on a mat, such as a piercing mat, and you'll get a slightly more solid, different effect. All right, let me grab a scrap and show you what I mean. So let's just for the sake of the exercise, all right? So when you do this with a mat underneath, this is the difference. Not a lot different, but it is a bit different. I hope you can see it. This one's a little bit more solid, and this one's got more white. Can you see that? So if you're doing it on a mat, you're going to fill it in a little bit more like this. This one is going to be a bit more dotty. Which one do you like? Which one do we like? Do we like the dotty? Maybe I'll do some of each, maybe. So I'm just going to fill in a whole background, and I'm going to do this on an angle. And because these are solid, because the acrylic blocks, sorry, are see-through, means that we can see where we're going. And it looks rather good. And I'm just going to line them up so that they're all in a row, like so. And I'm going to add another one down the end here. If you're not 100% straight, doesn't actually matter. Now I'm going to do like brickwork with these. So I'm using this middle line, and I'm putting this next one down below that middle line, so they turn out kind of like bricks. And I'm lining them up. Now, if you don't want to get any ink on your mat, then you can just put a scrap of paper under that. I'm not too worried about it today, but yeah, you could put a scrap of paper under that if you wanted to. So we could keep covering this, or if we prefer, we could just say, well, that's enough. We're going to just have those 2 rows. And it looks rather good, doesn't it? Don't you think it's a nice technique? It looks stippled. Exactly, it does. Yeah. You don't like the hard edge on the mat. Well, there you go. They're different, aren't they? So should we cover the whole thing, or should we just have the 2 rows and leave the top and bottom empty? What do you guys think? I'm very happy with either. Oh, blackberry would have been a good choice too, Marsha. Would have been nice. And Chris said yellow. Yellow would also look great. Hello, Marlene. Nice to see you there. You ordered your mat this morning, so it's still available in Canada, obviously, at an earlier stage today. All, says Kay. All right, all it is. So we're going to do the whole thing, and I'm going to start, and I'm starting so that this gap here is in the middle, so that I'm keeping these kind of, and like it doesn't matter if they're not perfect. It's okay. Whoop. And I'm just going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to do a little bit here, and then you'll see there's a couple of little gaps to fill in. We've got one to fill in here. If you're worried about your mat, you can also sort of stamp over the edge of it like this, and this is another thing you can do. I'm liking that this is looking very covered now. All right, I'm happy with that. That's looking really good. So now I can use this as a background for any card I want to do. And it's rather nice, isn't it? Don't you think it's a great background? I really like it. So simple. You don't even need stamps for this. You just need your blocks, and then you've got this fantastic kind of brick background. Leave the 2 rows. Well, we'll do that next time. The first person that came in was Kay, and Kay said all of it. So there you go. A black image of leaves in the middle would be really nice, or you could put, you could put a, I'm waiting for an order to come with some really nice new die cuts that I cannot wait to use on this sort of thing. But yeah, you could certainly put like a square or a circle. You could put a vellum circle and then a sentiment in the middle, all sorts of things. It's not able to be, yeah, there you go, Laurie. The other thing is, if anyone has ordered one earlier, you could only order 1. So it was only 1 for each demonstrator, and people had to get in pretty fast. Other than that, they're just going to be available as a joining special. So there we go. All right, there's that. All right, 1. That's what the first way of using our acrylic blocks for doing some stamping. All right, now I'm going to grab, I've got, this is E-block. E-block is kind of bigger than, I don't very often use E-block. I do sometimes for a really big stamp, but yeah, I don't use it all that often. Now, we could do this in a couple of different ways. We can use Reinker, we can use ink pads, we can do all kinds of things. But I'm going to start with some Reinkers, and I'm going to add a few drops. Okay, so Reinkers aren't just for re-inking stamps. They're also for creating some really fun background techniques. This is Tahitian Tide, if you're wondering. I'm using in colors. This is Parakeet Party. Whoops, there is a, is that a, oh no, it's just a scratch. I thought it was a cat hair, which is very likely. You guys know this. All right, Parakeet Party. And will I go Orchid or will I go Starry Sky? I'm going to go Starry Sky because it's going to give me a bit more contrast. And like so. All right, now the next thing I need to do is I need to grab myself a spritzer, So I actually went and filled myself up a spritzer before I started. So it's just got water in the barrel. If you do not have spritzers in your collection, please get one because you can do so many things with them. You fill them up at the tap and then you just spray over wherever, whatever you're working on. So I'm going to go sort of from above, a little bit higher, and spray, and you should see the colors start to move. Can we see that? It's starting to move, and I can help it move more. I can also come in with my with a like a water painter and move that around as well. and kind of muddy them up a little bit. I wouldn't go with more than 3 colors because then it starts to look really muddy and doesn't look like you want it to at all. All right, so I want some of this color to move around, so I'm going to kind of move it around with my, and I've also got some color here on the brush now, so we can kind of move that around. Now, when you do this, one of the great things about a glass mat is, you know, obviously it protects your space, and we can wipe this over afterwards. All right. Now I'm going to put this piece of basic white cardstock. This would be great on a watercolor piece of paper, the Fluid 100. And can you see the color is going straight through? That's okay. I'm going to pick it up, turn it over, and this is going to create a really nice background that I could do all kinds of different things on. I could add, for something like this, when you've got a fair bit of contrast, like we've got a fair bit of this, I love some of our white words or white die cuts that you can put over the top of this, and that would look really nice. And that's just another really easy background that you can play around with and get some great effects. Okay, so there's another possibility. Now the next one, I'm actually going to make a card with the next one. So I have got, hang on, before I start, I'm going to get my cleaning cloth here, and I'm just going to wipe that over. And this is a learning curve for me. I've always worked on grid paper, so now that I'm using the glass mat, I need to get better at making sure I wipe over before I start my next piece. All right, so, and the cleaning cloth comes with the glass mat for anyone who's wondering. So, all right, so I'm going to use, this is H block, which is a fairly small block. And this time I'm going to do a different, I want to use, I've picked out some of our markers. These are just Stampin' Right markers, not the blends, okay? Don't use blends for this technique, because all you'll do is color your acrylic block, because blends work on any surface. They work on porous or non-porous, and obviously this is non-porous thing here, but we want something that's going to mix with water, so we want our Stampin' Right markers. So be careful you're using the right kind of marker. And I'm going to start down the bottom. This is Pretty Peacock, and I'm just going to color a little bit of my block. And you can see I get some nice kind of you know, some nice markings on there. You don't need to be, don't try and do them so that they're, you want some of these swishy lines is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to go over the last little bit a little bit. This is Lost Lagoon, this color. Then I'm going to move up to here. I'm going to use Daffodil Delight, and that's going to go right there in the middle. Then the next color I'm using is Pumpkin Pie, and Pumpkin Pie and the Daffodil will work really nicely together. And the last color I'm going to add is Melon Mambo, because I want a nice bright pink, nice and bright. All right, so you should be able to see my block is actually looking really nice, right? Now you could just stamp this as it is and you would get a different result, but I am going to use my spritzer again to move the colors together a little bit. So I'm going to very lightly spritz. The more you spritz, obviously the more it's going to run, but I don't want too much, maybe just 1 or 2 more. And then I'm going to come in, I'm going to wipe this again because I want this to be clean. And then I'm going to turn this over. Yeah, and you know what? Up to you whether you want to put a mat under it or not. Okay, I'm going to put this just to one side here. And can you see the color kind of transfer to the paper? This is very easy to do. And if you want it to swirl together a bit more, sort of like jiggle it together, and you can see how nice this looks. Okay, so the colors all have kind of blended together a little bit, and it's sort of come away from the edge here, which I actually really like. So you can have a bit of fun with this, and I'm going to now add some other things to it to make it really pop. Okay, so I've got myself a larger, actually I might use block E for this. Let me just wipe this over because this is the one we just used before. So I'll give it a wipe. And this is a stamp from the Gorgeously Made stamp set, which I really like. I think you can get some really nice effects with this particular stamp set. And then I'm going to use Pretty Peacock because that's the color I used down here, so we know that's going to go really well. And I'm going to ink this up. That's a great idea, Janine. Really good idea. All right, so I'm now going to put this lovely big branch or leaf stamp straight across here so that some of it's on my coloured section and some of it's on the white. Make sure I transfer it really well. It's looking nice. All right, also in this is, you know, I love a good text set. I love these, so I'm going to use the same colour. Okay, and I'm going to do this. When you add these letters, it's actually really hard to see, but one way the letters, because the letters are really indistinct, but one way the letters are definitely round the wrong way. You want to make sure they're up the right way, because even though you can't actually read what it says, you can still see some of the individual letters, and you don't want them upside down. So I'm just going to grab this, and I'm going to have a little bit of this down the bottom here, like so, and I'm going to do a second one, so it's going to be lighter because it's stamped off without re-inking. All right, second one a bit higher, just like this. It's looking nice, isn't it? Doesn't it look great? All right, and then you could put a label over here. I'm actually just going to stamp mine. I'm using the thanks from the Artistically Inked stamp set, this one. I love this big. They've got a lovely big hello, a thanks, the best wishes, and a happy birthday. It's a really great set, actually. Haven't used it nearly enough lately. When it first came out, I was using it constantly, and you know, we tend to do that, don't we? We use a stamp set constantly for a while, and then we kind of get over it. All right, I'm going to put this thanks just here. So it's at the top of my leaf. And I'm actually now going to add this to some layers. So this is, for anyone who's wondering, in centimeters, 9.5 by 13.8 long. If you're in the US, I'm just trying to think. If you're in the US, that would be, I think, 3 3/4 by 5, I think. That's right. Inches. Because, of course, the big annoying thing is that our cardstock is not the same size as the US cardstock. I'm going to go with this edge. It's a better edge. And I'm going to make this layer now is going to be 10 centimeters by 14.3. So in inches, this would be 4 by 5 1/4. All right, so this is going to go on here like so. And I'm going to use, it doesn't matter what glue or, you know, whatever is your favorite glue. If you like Seal, use Seal. If you like Tombow, you can use Tombow, whatever you like to use. If you're using Seal, I hold mine down low and then lift it at the end and kind of flick it off, and then it doesn't get all gummed up in here. So it will last you much longer. So we're going to, that's actually a little bit high, so I'm going to reposition that. This is where I like Tombow, actually, because then you can move Tombow a lot more easily. Now, like I said, if you were doing this technique or these techniques on watercolor paper, it would be a different effect. Like the water holds a lot better on watercolor paper and it moves around more. So it's going to give you a different look. But I like this, don't you? All right, let's decide what bling do we want on this. I'm just having a look. Oh, that's a good idea. Just having a look here. I am really liking the glass mat, Priscilla. It's great. Okay, I'm thinking I will use some of these sequins that we have, because we have them in Pretty Peacock, and I think that's going to be nice on here. So I'm grabbing my Take Your Pick tool, which makes it easier to get stuff off like this. And we're going to have one down here. And we'll have a little one over here. and another little one just above the thanks. Right, and then I will be putting this on a basic white thick card base. So I always use basic white thick for my card bases. I find them the best. Let me just close these up so I don't end up sticking anything on top, because you know I will, right? I'll end up sticking it on top, definitely. Now I am going to be, like I said earlier, I'm going to be doing a video about the benefits of the glass mat towards the end of this week. And I'm excited to show you all the different things that I think it's good for and what I like about it. But I can tell you one unexpected benefit of the glass mat that I didn't think of until today. And that is it made me clean up my desk. And that was something I didn't expect. My desk has been a shambles for quite some time. And today I wanted to put the glass mat down and have some space around it. And the other thing I find with it too is I tend to, have my area gets smaller and smaller when I'm crafting. I can't help myself. I've got everything spread all over the place. I like to only have what I'm using right now on the glass mat and keep everything else off. So it helps me keep my space cleaner, which is good. I don't think that's an official reason to love the benefit, to love the glass mat. I don't think it's an official reason of official benefit, but I do like that it made me clean my desk today. I actually, when I say clean my desk, I mean I got everything off and, and scrubbed the surface with some spray and wipe to tidy it all up so that my glass mat would sit beautifully on the desk. So that was something I wasn't expecting. All right. So this piece now is going to go right here. And I'm going to, like I said, I can use Tombow, I can use seal, I can use whatever I like, but let's use a bit of Tombow. This one's getting low. Goodness me, all my Tombows, I go through them way too fast. Come on. Come on. Oh, that'll do anyway. I'm a little bit annoyed. You know what I did today? I was walking past my shelves where I have my papers and things, and there was a piece of paper. It was actually like the backing of a piece of glimmer paper was sticking out, and I ripped the top of my sleeve as I walked past. I was very cross because it was one of my favorite dresses. So I'm going to have to see if I can repair that. All right, let's see. How do we do? What do you think? Do we like the card? How about that? No, Stubu, it's not only in centimetres. Here in Australia, and I think in Europe too, the centimetres are down the left-hand side and across the bottom. Okay, I don't know if I can see this, but over here on the right-hand side, can you see there's inches? So let me move everything off for a second. And I'm going to actually move it up here. So you can see the centimetres are down the bottom here. Okay, and then it's inches up here. So in North America, theirs is the other way around. They've got the inches down the left-hand side and across the bottom, and then centimeters up the right-hand side and across the top. Okay, ours is the centimeters at the bottom. So I think, and I understand that you get whichever one your particular market is working in. So if you North America are the only ones who are getting the inches across the bottom. Everyone else is getting metric. Okay, but you still get both. Okay, you still get both inches and metric. There we go. All right, so there's the card I've made today, and I'll just pull out the couple of other backgrounds that we played with. I didn't really do a lot with this one, but that's something we might do for another time. And then this one, I really like this one. I'm going to definitely turn this into something. I've got some ideas. It almost looks like pattern paper, doesn't it? And that's in the boho blue. That is correct, Marilyn. You are right. You had to get used to using this. Yeah. Do you know what, though? The new seal, even though we have to get used to it, it's much better adhesive. I had some stuff that had snail, and especially in our hot weather here, very humid in Australia, some of our paper layers didn't stay together with the snail, but they do stay together with the seal. So it's much better adhesive. So it's worth that learning curve to learn how to use it properly, because because, yeah, the snail did not hold things together after it got into our humidity, which wasn't great. Oh, you're very welcome, Judy, and thank you, Gina. That doesn't matter. Late is okay because that's what replays are for. Completely fine. So my last thing to you before I leave is those couple of things we mentioned at the start. First of all, free shipping on all orders over $65 on Thursday. But if you live elsewhere, you'll need to check with your market what that magic number is. But here in Australia, it's $65. I think, was it Janine that was saying it's $75 in the US, but I don't know what it is elsewhere. The other thing is that we have craft along coming up between Christmas and New Year's, so look out for more details about that. And what else do I have for you? I'll have a video coming out about the glass mat. And don't forget to subscribe, you guys. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would love you to do that. All right, you people. Fantastic to see you all here today. I really appreciate that you support me and that you're here. I'm so grateful. And I hope that it's been something that you can give a try as well. I hope you'll give these things a try. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.